What's good? It's your boy Jay. That's me. Let's discuss TNA Impact from January the 25th, 2024. A pretty okay episode for the most part. We're building towards No Surrender, which is going to be next month. I'm not sure when, but I know it's going to be next month for sure. So we're building towards that. TNA still continues to use guys that I don't like, but what are you going to do but rant and rave? So, overall, the show is okay. So, we kicked the show off with a in loving memory graphic to Francisco Costa, who passed away. I'm not sure how he passed away. Rest in peace. Rest in paradise. Rest in power. His family will be in our thoughts and prayers, and we send our condolences to his family. He was 48. He was a known local wrestler. He's even had matches with Johnny Impact, a.k.a. John Morrison, Johnny TV, who's now in AEW. He had a match with him about 5 years ago. So 2019, back when Johnny was still with Impact. And they also did a documentary, a movie that's out on YouTube. It's like an hour and a half long. I'm going to watch it. It's called The Journeyman. So, wow. And he was only 48. So I'm like, wow. Man, it's crazy. It's really crazy. But we definitely send our love and condolences to his family. Let's go ahead and get into the show. We kicked off the show. First match of the night, Chris Bay versus Kevin Knight. So Chris Bay gets the win via the Art of Finesse. Very decent little match here. I'm a big fan of Kevin Knight. I like his work. He's a good worker. I hope he does decide to stick with TNA. I really do. I know that Kushida trained him and everything else. So it would make sense for Kevin Knight to be signed to TNA. He might still be doing his excursions. He might be still doing that, but I doubt it. But this was a good little match. Babyface versus babyface. Post-match, however, the Grizzled Young Vets, Zach Gibson and James Drake, they attacked Ace Austin and Chris Bay after the match, beat them down, said that they were coming for the TNA World Tag Team Championships, and it looks like my boys are signed with TNA, and I'm ecstatic for them. Really good shit there. I'm a big fan of the Grizzled Young Vets. I like them. I do. Hopefully this feud can bring out some personality with them, because both Chris Bay and Ace Austin, both of them have charisma for sure. So we'll see where it goes. Moving on. So we get a video package hyping up the arrival of Ash by Elegance, a.k.a. FKA, Dana Brooke. So there's that. Really cool stuff there. Most of the stuff she did was like she was in the water swimming and everything else, and modeling and all that. So most of the stuff was done during the summer. So this was great. I wonder when they're going to actually bring her in to have her in-ring debut. And I'm interested in seeing who is going to be her first feud. It's very, very interesting. But I am glad that Ash by Elegance is with TNA. I'm glad. It makes sense. Moving on. Next, Frankie Kazarian, he's backstage trying to cut a promo explaining his actions as to why he attacked Eric Young last week. But he was interrupted by Rich Swann. So Rich Swann asked Frankie Kazarian what was going on with him, but Frankie responded by saying that now he's taking matters into his own hands. Then AJ Francis, a.k.a. Top Dollar, met with Rich Swann and told him that he would be in his corner for his match against Joe Hendry next week. He wanted to scout Joe Hendry. AJ Francis offered a seat to Rich Swann to sit next to him in first class, but Rich Swann politely passed on the offer. This sucks. This really fucking sucks. I am not a fan of Frankie Kazarian. I don't understand why TNA continues to push Frankie Kazarian, Rich Swann, and guys like that. Rich Swann has been there for what? I want to say, 6 years? So 20... I think he came in... I'm trying to think. When did he get released by WWE? I want to say, was it 2017 or 2018? I'm going to say 2017 he was released by WWE. So he's been there for 7 years and not really done much of anything. I don't get it. Rich Swann, he's not it. He's not it. Again, it's time for TNA to get rid of guys like Frankie Kazarian, Eddie Edwards, Moose, Motor City Machine Guns, guys like that. Rich Swann, Eric Young, PCO, Rhino, who we'll talk about when we get there. He was on the show as well. Get rid of these guys. I don't mean fire them, but have these guys be backstage producers and guys who are in creative. Moving on. Dirty Dango and Oleg Prudis, a.k.a. Vladimir Kozlov, they defeated Dante King and Damian Drake. So 2 jobber guys. So this was great. I'm loving Dirty Dango. He's great. A good get for TNA. A really good get. Hopefully he becomes something in TNA. I think he will. So we'll see where it goes. And it's always good to see TNA using jobber guys, whereas WWE and AEW, they don't typically do that. They just usually bring in, talent that's already there. But I'm glad that TNA decided to go with enhancement talent. Probably local enhancement talent. Because I've never heard of these guys in my life at all, period. Next. So the Grizzled Young Vets, they're backstage, fired up. They're cutting a promo. But then they're immediately scolded by Santino Marella for attacking Ace Austin and Chris Bay. And then the four guys tried to brawl off each other. Santino Marella, he stopped all that. He said it's going to be a 2 out of 3 win series for the tag titles, which starts next week. So that's great. So the Grizzled Young Vets are signed with TNA. This is good. I do like this. I do. Moving on. So the Motor City Machine Guns, which are Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin, along with Okada, they were interviewed by Gia Miller. They called out the system ahead of their match in the main event. And then Okada promised to make TNA feel the Rainmaker. Okay, cool. That's all right. Moving on. Jodynne Grace versus Trinity for the TNA Knockouts World Championship. So, Jodynne Grace wins. This was a decent TV match. This was. Towards the end of the match, Trinity and Jodynne Grace, they traded roll-ups. And then Trinity was attempting to lock in Starstruck, but Jodynne Grace rolled it up into a pin, so that's fine. Post-match, they embraced for a second, and then Savannah Evans and Jay Vidal and Gisele Shaw, they beat down Trinity and Jodynne Grace post-match. I'm just like, what the fuck? What the fuck is this shit? Oh my god. It is what it is, though. Gisele Shaw hit the knee strike to take out Trinity. So Trinity's going back to WWE. I'm pretty sure she'll be in the Royal Rumble for sure as a surprise. So that should be fun there. But man, what a way to go out for Trinity. Like, I don't know. It is what it is. I'm still hoping, and I still have hope, that maybe TNA can bring in Mandy Rose and Lacey Evans. I really hope they can do that. Again, I don't see Mandy Rose going to AEW. I just don't. Same with Lacey Evans. I think if they were to get back into wrestling, the two of them would probably go to TNA versus AEW. Because that women's division is horrible. Horrible. It needs a lot of work. Just saying. Moving on. So the System, which is Moose, Brian Myers, Eddie Edwards, and Alicia Edwards, they cut a promo backstage where they said they were the standard bearer in TNA because the system works. They promised to prove that that all everyone had to do was trust the system. Oh my God. Can we please make all these guys backstage producers? Please get these motherfuckers off my television. Damn. So tired of this shit. Next, Nic Nemeth, a.k.a. Dolph Ziggler. He defeated Zachary Wentz in a very, very good match. Very good TV match. He wins via the Danger Zone, a.k.a. the Zigzag. So post-match, Steve Maclin attacks Nic Nemeth from behind. He slumped him down for a second. He attempted to go for the killed in action, but Dolph reversed it into the Zigzag. My bad. The Danger Zone. It's going to take time to get used to saying, calling Dolph Ziggler Nic Nemeth. It's just going to take time. It really is. It really is. Moving on. Well, actually, no. Before we move on, I do like the Steve Maclin and Dolph Ziggler feud. I think that's going to be good. I think what they're going to do with Nic Nemeth is they're probably going to have him be champion. I want to say by Slammiversary. I know they're still trying to put into our minds that Josh Alexander is going to be champion again. He's not, okay? He's not. You can't continue to use guys of the past. Josh Alexander had his time. He was champion for a good portion of last year until he got injured, and then he came back later in the year at Bound for Glory last year. No, Josh Alexander cannot be the face of TNA. He doesn't need to be it. He's not the guy anymore. He's not the guy. You signed Dolph Ziggler, push him to the moon, make him be your face, and that is it. No one cares about Josh Alexander. Stick his ass into the mid-card. Because he can't hold a feud to save his life. And he's not a good promo. He's just not. He's just he's just a decent wrestler, and that's it. And I'm being 1,000% serious. Enough is enough trying to shove Josh Alexander down our fucking throats. Enough. I'm sick of this shit. He's not the fucking guy. Deal with it. Moving on. I apologize for the rant, but I had to. I'm just tired of trying to push, Josh Alexander. He's not the fucking guy. He's not it. He's just not it. Moving on. So Crazy Steve is backstage. He's cutting a promo where he bragged about taking the title Tommy Dreamer held to Crave a scar in TNA, and said that he did not need to listen to anyone. And then Rhino, he interrupted him. He said he was going to teach Crazy Steve a lesson, and he shoved him into the wall And then Steve started laughing maniacally. And I'm just like, what the fuck is this shit? What is this? Seriously, what is this? I don't know. Again, Rhino, like everyone else, needs to be a backstage producer. It's time. He just doesn't have it anymore. Again, I like Crazy Steve's character work and stuff like that, but he's an okay serviceable mid-card champion guy. He's okay in this role for now, but long term, no. Just no. Moving on. So Decay, they were backstage and they had a little weird, creepy vignette, like they always do. They said that Courtney Rush and Jessica had a purpose, which was to take care of their corpses so that they could return to cause damage. They promised to take things in the way of Decay. And I'm just like, oh my God, no. Let's not do this. Like, I'm still trying to wrap my head around why they decided to take the titles off of Killer Kelly and Masha Slamovich. I don't get it. I really don't. We've seen Rosemary 1,000 times. Same thing with Havoc. They've been there for years. I believe Rosemary's been with Impact for, I think, close to 10 years, if not more. And just tired of it, Like, they're okay, but they're not the face of that tag division. They're just not. And they don't need to be. They don't need to be. Moving on, my girls, MK Ultra, Killer Kelly, and Masha Slamovich, they defeated the team of Danny Luna and Jody Threat. And then post-match, MK Ultra, they beat down Danny Luna and Jody Threat via the double Tiger Driver 91 on both of them. So I'm like, damn. So this was great. So I like this. We'll probably get the rematch between the two at No Surrender, which I'm fine with. And then hopefully MK Ultra gets it back. And then they end the feud at the next pay-per-view, whenever that is, in March. So hopefully that's what happens. Because MK Ultra, they need to be champions again. They really do. Like, Killer Kelly and Masha Slamovich, love them girls. Love them. Ooh-wee. Main event. Mercy Machine Guns and Kazuchika Okada defeated the System, Eddie Edwards, Moose, Brian Myers. Who cares? It's fine. I mean, Okada being there was fine. I mean, he was just there just for one night, so it's all good. It's all good to hood, in my opinion. Where does Okada go? Rumor has it he's going to head to WWE, which is fine, and I think that's a perfect move. I know some people have gotten mad in the IWC and YWC that Okada has to go to NXT, but I'm telling you, look at Shinsuke Nakamura. Nakamura had to do the same thing. I would just have Okada in NXT for at least, I want to say no more than six months to a year. I want to say at least 6 months. He's just down there for 6 months, and then you push him right, and then you bring him on the main roster. I know some people want him to show up at WrestleMania 40 and all that, but it's like, you guys have to understand that WrestleMania is 90% casual. That's just what it is. WrestleMania has always been, especially in the modern era, has always been casual. It's been 98% casual. All right? The Raw after Mania is usually when the smart marks take over. The Raw and SmackDown after Mania, right? That's when they get vocal and all this kind of third. But Okada, if it is to be believed that he's going to WWE, he does need to go to NXT. He does. And I think he should be there for no more than at least 6 months, and then you bring him up to the main roster. That's just me. And the only way you can bring him up to the main roster and it makes sense is if you have Shinsuke Nakamura involved in a feud with somebody. Don't just bring him in as like, have like an open challenge or whatever. Like, that was fine for Cody because we knew Cody was coming back, and the fans knew. But with Okada, that's totally different, right? That's totally, totally different. So, there was a mysterious voice that appeared on air saying that TNA had gone through a gradual change, but now it was time for a different kind of change. And so it was revealed to be Mustafa Ali. He approved this message. He said he's coming to TNA, and then we go off the air. Fantastic. Fantastic. And I popped. Really, really good stuff. I'm a fan of Ali. I like his work. I do. I think he's a really good character. I like his work. I'm glad that he's with TNA. He might do the Matt Cardona thing where he shows up, everywhere, but I doubt it. If I was him, I would not go to AEW unless it was for like a one-off or whatever, but I would not go there. I wouldn't sign there. If I was him, I would stay with New Japan and TNA. I would do the Dolph Ziggler thing. That's just me. He could also pop up in MLW as well. I think that'd be fine too. But to me, the perfect fit for Mustafa Ali would be TNA and New Japan. I think those two would be the perfect fit for him. Especially in TNA. He would fucking kill it in the X Division. Kill it in the X Division. And I could see him in the main event scene as well. I could see it. So, I could see him and Dolph going at it. Him and Nic Nemeth going at it. I think that'd be great. So, there are guys for him to work with in TNA for sure. But all in all, TNA was okay. So what did you guys think? Like, comment, and subscribe. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.